The Iron Man's challenge. There was no time to be wasted. The Iron Man allowed himself to be taken to pieces, arms, legs, body, head, all separate, so each part could be flown out to Australia on a different airliner. He was too big to be flown out in one piece. At the same time, a ship sailed from China, loaded with great iron girders, and another ship sailed from Japan, loaded with fuel oil. The Iron Man had ordered these. The girders and the oil, and a team of engineers were unloaded on the beach of northern Australia, near the Space Bat Angel Dragon's neck. Then the Iron Man's parts were landed at the same spot, and the engineers fitted him together. He stood up on the beach and shouted his challenge. "Sit up!" he roared. "Sit up and take notice, you great space lizard." The Space Bat Angel Dragon sat up slowly. He had never noticed the fussing of the boats and airplanes down there on the beach near his neck. Now he gazed in surprise at the Iron Man, who seemed very tiny to him, though his voice was big enough. The Iron Man spoke again. "I challenge you," he shouted, "to a test of strength." A test of strength? The Space Bat Angel Dragon couldn't believe his ears. A tiny little creature like the Iron Man challenging him to a test of strength? He simply laughed, loud and long. Then he peered down again at the Iron Man, while the echo of his laugh was still rolling round the earth. He peered down out of the sky at this odd little thing on the beach, with the even tinier men scuttling around it. "And if I can prove myself stronger than you are, then you must promise to become my slave," cried the Iron Man. The dragon smiled. Aircraft flew around, watching this amazing conversation between the Space Bat Angel Dragon and the Iron Man. Ships out at sea watched through telescopes. And if you don't accept my challenge," shouted the Iron Man, "then you're a miserable, cowardly reptile, not fit to bother with." The Space Bat Angel Dragon was so astounded that he agreed. "Why," he thought, "when this silly little creature has finished his antics, I'll just lick him up." So the monster agreed, and watched to see what the test of strength was to be. After all, if he wanted, he could flatten the Iron Man with one eyelash. The engineers had fastened all the girders together in the shape of a grid, a huge iron bed the size of a house. Under this, they had made a steel-lined pit. Now they poured fuel oil into the pit. The Space Bat Angel Dragon watched. Now they lit the fuel oil, and the flames roared up fiercely through the bars of the grid. And now the Space Bat Angel Dragon got his first shock. The Iron Man was stretching himself out on his back on the grid among the flames, his ankles crossed, his hands folded behind his head, just as if he were in bed, while the flames raged under and around him. The monster stared down, and the Iron Man smiled up out of the midst of the flames. The flames became fiercer. The grid became red hot. The Iron Man's hair at elbows and toes became red hot. His body became first blue, then black, then began to glow dully. He was getting red hot. Still he smiled up at the monster, and still the flames grew fiercer. And now the Iron Man was entirely red hot. Pretty soon he was almost white hot. And still he smiled. Out of white hot eyes with white hot lips. And all the time the Space Bat Angel Dragon stared down in astonishment. But now the fuel oil was all burned away. Suddenly the flames died, flickered, and went out. Okay, year 4, that's all for this week. I hope you are really enjoying the Iron Man, because I know I am. Hope you're well, and don't forget to send all your work to Miss Martin and I. Goodbye.